get all up in your
remember, because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
The other dude's holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Eric's gonna get him.
Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Listeners are asking questions about this week's games, not Jerry's personal beef. So what's your thought? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Fantasy Sports and Politics. It's me, Mr. FSP, doing what I do because I do it for you all day, every day. Don't get it twisted. There's only one of me. There's only one. Some people like it, some people don't. But you know what? It is what it is. Anyway, look, fantasy is fantasy. And what I've noticed, this has not been a regular fantasy year. I'm going to give a shout out to my guy, Hoss, aka Brent, in our Yahoo Neighborhood Street Football League, because my man has suffered through the absolute worst year of his fantasy life. And I lie to you not, ladies and gentlemen. He had the first overall pick, firstly. And his team looked good. But he has the injury bug. Every player on his team has either been on IR, injured, currently injured, or will be injured. And the sad thing about it is he's traded away players and gotten new players. But I promise you, my brother is cursed because every player he gets is injured. Right now, his bench, everybody on his bench, out or IR. No joke. But I'm going to give him credit. He didn't stop showing up. He didn't quit. He didn't, throw a fit or anything like that. The brother stayed on and kept going. He kept trying to make moves. Our trade deadline is passed. He got his first win 2 weeks ago. Then, thanks to Taysom Hill, he beat me last week. But I got to tell you, the guy has integrity. The guy has character. Because most people, face it, let's think about this. If you have not won a game through 10 weeks of fantasy, and all your players are always injured, are you going to show up and set your roster every week? The regular person, the average person is going to say, nah, F that. Brent's a champ. To top it off, yesterday, what happens? Out of nowhere, Brock Purdy is placed on the bench for shoulder soreness, and Allen is anointed. That was Hoss's starting QB, one of his starting QBs, because we start two QBs. The man has had so much bad luck, man. I'm telling you. I love him, but I'm glad it happened to him because he talks so much. But I love it because Brett is the guy that he has been with me for almost 20 years playing fantasy. Almost. And good, bad, or indifferent, Brett has never flaked out on me. Now, last year between him and, or year before last, between him and Q, You know, he's like, well, I'm gonna quit. But Brent didn't quit. He hit me up on the side and we talked about it. And he came back. He won the league last year. So you go from first to worst. That is insane. I'm just saying. That is insane. I love Brent. I wish him nothing but success. Excuse me. Next year. Not even then, because I got to face him again. But that's the type of dude that you want on your side. You know what I mean? You know, regardless of what's going on, he sticks in there. That's a true friend and fantasy player that regardless of their record, regardless of the shenanigans, they're still showing up. So I'm going to give him a shout out real quick for doing that because, like I said, most people, they ain't doing nothing. They literally are not, and they're giving folks free wins. He's being competitive, and I'm very happy to say that he has not turned into the Jets. With that being said, this episode today has a lot and a little at the same time. A lot in the fact that we're going to talk about Week 12, and just like I said, Brock Purdy, Randy Orton, RKO out of nowhere is benched. So I have another guy in the league, Truck. You guys have seen him before. You know, he complained about the 2-quarterback system, but it's the champion's rule. I'm not going to back down on my word. That was the champion's rule. And I got the information before anybody else in the league got it. So I post a little something up there to say, I don't know who needs to hear this, but somebody needs to check to see if their quarterbacks are playing or not. And that was my subtle hint because Hoss has Purdy. And I didn't want to tell him directly, hey, you might want to check your roster because that would be unfair. So I put it in the group chat. Now, I can't control somebody's work schedule or when they check the messages. But Hoss was like, oh, wow, because it's like another injury, right? We have another person there, George, who blatantly says Purdy's out, right? So I'm like, okay, he said it, not me. So you can't blame me if you didn't get the player. And Truck comes in a little late. See, this is what I mean, bro. Long story short, fantasy football this year has been crazy. Crazy. I will also say that the ups and downs in fantasy, you know, you see people come, you see people go. I wish Sammy didn't make the decision he did, but hey, I'm not going to, you know, put up with somebody calling me, you know, a liar or a cheater or something like that just because they don't agree with my decision. Ain't gonna happen. I wish him the best as well. Probably will not be coming back to my league, but it is what it is. Because I am the type of person is if you burn me, you burn me. You're gonna have to come back very humble in order for me to just be like, okay, cool. Some people don't do that. Hey, Brody, we just might have an opening next year. I don't know who's returning. I'm going to wait for that to come about at the end of week 14. I'm going to ask who's coming, who's staying, who's leaving. That way, you're on the short list. If I have to replace somebody, you're on the short list, my brother. Not a problem. Hopefully, I don't have to replace anybody. But hey, you never know. You never know the hearts of men. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and all that. So, you know, I got you. I got you, Brody. I got you. 10 toes down. I got you, brother. But let's get into the show, okay? Let's get into the show. So the first game we're going to talk about happens to be, and look, it's not as easy as everybody thinks it's going to be. Kansas City versus Carolina. As of late, Carolina has become a problem. Jonathan Brooks is supposed to play this week. the rookie running back out of University of Texas, excuse me, who was recovering from, I believe, Achilles injury. He suffered, man, I'm tired, during the end of last year's college season. The head coach said he expects him to play. I don't know if he's playing or not. I don't know if his status has changed between yesterday and today, but yesterday it was like up and down, iffy. They had some points projected for him, but I don't know if he's going to make it. We'll see. I will also say this. Bryce Young has played a little better. I don't know if it's because he, was able to see the field better or the game plan has been better. I don't know what it is, but you trade away your best receiver. Adam Thielen returns. Offensive line is still some garbage. You trade away another receiver, Jonathan Mingo, and all sorts. But Bryce Young has been performing. They haven't won, but he's been performing. Flip it over. Kansas City. Isaiah Pacheco. That's a name you guys need to remember because I know when he got hurt at the beginning of the season, people put him on IR or trashed him. Andy Reid said he's not going to play this week, but Andy Reid didn't say he's not going to play next week. Think about that. But this week, Kareem Hunt is still the lead back. The offensive line is still what it is. Hopkins, Smith-Schuster, and Kelsey are there. And I told you guys last week that Harrison Buckner not playing was going to have a major impact on that team. There are times versus Buffalo where Buckner would have been called on to get points, right? I'm not saying he would have got him, but he's a very good kicker. Hate his politics, hate his personal views, but he's a very good kicker. So Harrison Buckner wasn't there, didn't play, and they lost. Kansas City defense couldn't stop Josh Allen. It wasn't that they couldn't stop anybody else. They couldn't stop Josh Allen. Josh Allen led the Buffalo Bills in rushing. It's not good to have your quarterback leading your team in rushing when you have a healthy running back, but big boy doing what he does. Quite possibly NFL MVP. I'm still pulling for Jaden Daniels once we right this ship and start winning again. He's going to get Rookie of the Year, but neither here nor there. But this game, Kansas City versus Carolina, could be a trap game. It could be a trap game. Watch out, because Kansas City is not as good as we think. Chuba Hubbard is a beast running the ball for Carolina. Not Brooks, even though he might play, but Chuba Hubbard. So if they have a problem, Kansas City has a problem stopping Chuba, that's going to set up a lot of play action. And I'm here to tell you, Kansas City is not what they were last year on the defensive side of the ball. I don't care how they disguise it. They're not. I'm going to pick KC to win in a in a tough game that shouldn't come down to a field goal, but just might. Just might. But I'm going to pick Kansas City to win this game. Next game, we got Minnesota at Chicago. Now, here's the deal. I think Sam Darnold wins Comeback Player of the Year. His team is 9-2. Nobody other than folks in Minnesota said that Minnesota would be contending or have this type of record. I've listened to shows where they were predicting 13-4, 15-2, stuff like that. And the show host laughed. I laughed. But Sam Darnold is It's not Sam. He's going to win comeback player of the year. He is, in my opinion. I think he should. But it's Brian Flores' defense and Aaron Jones's running that's going to win this game. Now, look, you fired the offensive coordinator in Chicago, right? Chicago has a good game. They should come back. They don't. But I don't think Chicago is ready to face Minnesota. Even though Sam Darnold has struggled the last couple games, they got TJ Hawkinson back. So if you're going to double team, which they were doing, Justin Jefferson, you're going to try to stop Aaron Jones and make Jordan Addison beat you, which he wasn't, but he was still having a good year. Who's going to stop TJ Hawkinson, who just started to get hot last week? Caleb needs to find DJ Moore more often. He needs to throw the ball to Keenan Allen. He needs to throw the ball to Rome Odunze, who just might get 1,000 yards as a number 3 receiver. But more importantly, out of anything, Chicago needs to run DeAndre Swift. But what does Minnesota do? They stop the run. Their secondary gets interceptions because they can play zone without blitzing. Minnesota will not win the NFC North. Detroit will. But Minnesota is a team you don't want to face in the playoffs. That defense you don't want to face. If you want to force the quarterback to throw the ball, cool, you might have a chance. But Chicago does not have the players I thought they did. I thought the Bears had a solid front seven and a solid secondary, but they only have a solid pair of DNs, and Montez Sweat isn't playing. Their linebackers, Tremont Evans and the rest, I thought they were good. They're garbage, man. They are garbage. Secondary is good, but they are garbage. I got to go with Minnesota. Brody says, yeah, I think the Vikings look well. I picked up their defense early in the season, and they look good. I didn't think the Vikings would have looked that good when JJ went down. Listen, the defense is the number 1 defense in all the NFL, fantasy-wise. I haven't looked up what they are, actually. I think they're like number 2, number 3 or something like that. But still, they take the ball away, and they stop the run. Caleb, you're going to have to make some magic. You're going to have to make some magic. And yes, Caleb is wildly inconsistent, in my opinion, but not because he can't be an accurate quarterback, but because the offensive line sucks. The offensive line truly, truly sucks. All the Bears fans out there, I'm going to name them that I know. Dave, Purdy, that know-it-all Paris that don't know nothing really. Rob Vogel. Still love you, Rob, but you're a Bears fan. Any other Bear fan I missed that's on my timeline? Look, I agree with you. Your team is good, but fix your offensive line. If you don't fix your offensive line, Caleb's going to do nothing. Nothing. The problem is the Bears drafted Rome Odunze instead of an offensive tackle. So if Allen is banged up, Rome should eat. But if Caleb can't stand up, what does it matter? What does it matter? It's just like, you got this Maserati with a Chevette engine in it. Looks pretty, but ain't going to perform the way you think it's going to perform. Not going to perform that way. I'm telling you. I got Minnesota all day, every day in this game. Next game, we have Tennessee at Houston. Look, it's time for Tennessee to realize they made a mistake in picking Will Levis at the beginning of the second round. Will was literally a third-round pick, right? Literally a third-round pick. He's a quarterback that can be developed, but when you thrust him into the limelight, right? Oh, looking at announcements. When you thrust him into the limelight and say, start, here you go, you got some good weapons. You got Hopkins, you got Ridley, you got Pollard. Tajay Spears is out, but you had him. And he's not using Oluokun, the tight end. The best friend to a quarterback, a struggling quarterback at least, is a tight end and a run game. Not all the outside weapons. So Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans, look, there's some decent quarterbacks coming out. You're going to have a high pick. Pick one. And then pick offensive line. Don't get another receiver. Don't get another tight end. Don't get another running back. Get an offensive line. That's it. You're going to get smashed, Tennessee. Houston is about to run on a heater and solidify their hold on the South. They stumbled along the way during, that 3-4 game skid. Understood. Tough talent. Nico was out. Nico Collins came back. Tank Dell didn't prove to be the stud that I thought he would be once Nico went down. But John Mechie, he showed up. He said, Robert Woods, you good, you old, but I still want to play. So now you got 3 to 4 decent receivers. And guess what? Joe Mixon ain't lost a step. I know some people that said Joe Mixon was done. They said it on this show. They were wrong. A lot of people that said Joe Mixon were done. They were wrong. Joe Mixon has at least another 1 or 2 years left of that type of production, and he's showing it to you right now. A better offensive line than he had in Cincinnati, and look what he's doing. He might give Bradford some run for his money as comeback player of the year, but he never went anywhere. So nobody gave up on Joe Mixon except for the Cincinnati Bengals. But it is what it is. Houston all day. Detroit, Indy. Look. Richardson got the angry run of the week from our guy on NFL Network. And he's just trucking people. That's the problem, though. He should not be trucking people. He should be throwing to people. You have a 6'4" receiver, Michael Pittman Jr., who is now relegated to the number 2 or 3 receiver as far as possessions because your quarterback's not throwing it to him. But that's your best target. Jonathan Taylor, he's okay this year, but he is a number 1, literally, in my opinion. If Richardson were a real quarterback, a lot of people love him. I picked him up off of waivers, praying he get a shot at starting again, and he did. And he did very well for me last week. But this week, you're going against Detroit. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Detroit's going to win this game. But if Richardson runs and throws the ball to Michael Pittman Jr., it's going to be a lot closer game than we anticipate. But if he just runs and he just hands the ball off to Taylor and he throws to Downs or Downing and the other no names, Detroit's going to put a beating on them. Brian Branch is going to probably knock Richardson out of the game if They have a collision. Keep it real. Bama versus Florida. Florida rarely won those matchups. Branch is going to knock him out. I hope not until I get enough points for having him on my team. But after this week, it really don't matter because I get Kirk Cousins back. But Detroit is the odds-on favorite to go to and win the Super Bowl. Right now, the prediction is Detroit versus Kansas City in Super Bowl. And I don't think Kansas City going to make it to the Super Bowl. I predicted they would at the beginning of the year. I did. But based upon what I'm seeing, not what happened last week with Josh Allen and the Bills, because the Bills aren't going to the Super Bowl. They're not. They are not. I hate to break it to you. I would pick the Chargers over the Bills if they played in the playoffs, which they might. The Chargers are a more complete team. They run the ball. They have tall, big receivers. They got to be spectacular because they're not. And Ladd McConkey, the rookie's about to go over 1,000 yards. But we'll say that when we talk about the Chargers. But right now, I'm telling you, Detroit is going to mollywop the crap out of Indy if Richardson doesn't get picked in the ball. I'm telling you, they're going to take away those no-name receivers, man. And take it like this. The defense is a soft defense, right? They're a read and react defense. So as long as they don't bite too much on the read option, they're going to confuse the hell out of Richardson. Detroit all day. New England and Miami. Now look, let's be honest. No one expected New England to win week 1 versus the Bengals, except New England and the folks, maybe not the folks in New England, the fans, that is, but the team did. New England has been ultra competitive all year, right? I did not expect them to win 3 games. I literally had them winning 1 game this season, maybe 2. But Miami, I'm going to tell you, without Tua, Miami's some garbage, and they proved it. Tua's back. Tyreek has not exploded yet. A chain has done well, but Tyreek's dealing with some injuries, especially to his Achilles or something like that, but he's still going. If Tua gets knocked out this game, man, because don't get it twisted, the Patriots hit the quarterback a lot. A lot. If they get to him, it's going to be a sad day. It's going to be a sad day. But quick passes, run a chain, run Morris. I've seen folks drop Waddle. And I'm like, y'all tripping. Waddle's going to get his. He is going to get his. You might not think he's going to get it now, but this week, next week, in your playoffs, Waddle's going to be a problem. Watch what I tell you. Before this game, I've got to go with, look. Gerard Mayo. I know my boy Chris Eder loves you. But y'all gonna lose this game, bro. Miami is different than Miami in New England. I think it's gonna be Miami by at least 7. At least a touchdown. I got Miami winning by a touchdown. And if Miami's smart, they will be on the phone with Daniel Jones right now, bringing him in as a backup plan. Because as soon as he gets hurt, if Tua does get hurt, and I think he will, I hate to say it, but the way New England hits the quarterback, not even just the sacks, but hits the quarterback, they get to the quarterback. I'm praying for Tua. But I think they need to go get Daniel Jones as a backup, just in case. Maybe even Ryan Tannehill. I don't know. But Daniel Jones has been there. Speaking of which, Tampa Bay at New England, at the Giants. So the Giants cut Daniel Jones. Now, I'm in a group. These guys swear they know everything. Some of them young, some of them old. But I get it. They like to think they know a lot because they're younger than me. Not all of them. And even the ones that are my age or older still don't have the acumen that I have. They might know basketball. They might know, a little MMA or whatever. Football is a business, and they don't think of the business side of football. And cutting Daniel Jones for the injury clause is what happened. Daniel Jones was playing safety in practice as the fourth quarterback for the scout team. This was a business decision on his part and their part. I don't know if Daniel Jones went to the Giants and said, look, I want my starting job back. I reduced my injury clause to X amount of dollars. Just want my job back. If that happened and the Giants said, no, they said, fine, cut me. Just let me go. Because right now you're embarrassing me. You're making me the scapegoat for all the issues. Now, let's keep it real. Daniel Jones is not that good of a quarterback. But behind that offensive line, who could be? Saquon Barkley, beast, in the running for MVP. Put him behind Philly's offensive line. Look what he's doing. So a change of scenery for Daniel Jones, is probably best. And I think next year, if he comes back and starts or whatever, he could be in the running for comeback player of the year because nobody cared. Everybody's he's a bum, he's a bust, he's a waste. But give him an offensive line and see. Because Mr. DeVito, he's going to be running for his life versus Tampa. Tampa blitzes like 70% of the time. The number might be a little high, but not that much higher than what they actually blitz. It's over 50% of the time. They're sending a blitz. That offensive line is going to suck. DeVito. Malik Neighbors, this is a good opportunity for Malik Neighbors to have buku numbers, but that offensive line is trash. And I can't sit here and tell you guys, play DeVito. Not against Tampa's defense. I think he's going to have some picks. I really do. But he also stands to gain a few touchdowns because Malik Neighbors can beat the DBs, but will they have enough time is what I'm saying. I don't think they'll have enough time. Mike Evans is back. So that also means Cade Otton, who was getting 12, 13 targets a game, it drops down to like 6 or 7 because he's still probably the best option outside of Mike Evans. And Baker loves throwing to the tight end. Ask Mark Andrews in college. Anywhere he's gone. In Njoku, Cleveland. He had a hot minute in with the Rams and a hot minute in Carolina, but his history says he likes throwing to the tight end. So Cade Otton is still playable, but don't expect the big target share that he had the last couple of weeks while Mike Evans was out. They're on a mission to give Mike his 1,000 yards. Mike has to average 92 yards a game in order to hit his 1,000-yard, mark that he does every year. So if you're telling me Mike Evans is going to be a big part of this game plan, you're lying. You're lying. Bucky Irvin's going to be a big part. So is White. But you best believe Mike Evans is getting 10, 12, or more targets, especially against the Giants secondary. He'll feast. Tampa Bay. All right. Dallas at Washington. Look, if you follow this show, you know there is no love for Mike McCarthy here. And definitely not for the Dallas Cowboys. You say, Mike McCarthy, after the fact in a press conference, you should have played Trey Lance, a little more, or played him at the end of last week's game. You should be playing Trey Lance right now. Cooper Rush is okay. He's going to make money somewhere else next year as a solid backup. But CeeDee Lamb might not even play this game. He's highly questionable with a knee and something else. You probably don't want to deal with the BS. Do you know the Cowboys are the only team in the NFL currently that has not won a game at home? And you're 2/3 way through the season. They're coming to Washington. And believe it or not, Dallas is always going to be a tough out because it's the Cowboys. I don't know. We just hate the Cowboys, but it's not going to be a romp and stomp on beat 'em up type game for Washington. I'm picking Washington, of course, because we have the better skill set receivers, but and offense. But if Cooper Rush gets Cooks back, which is projected to possibly happen, I know they activated him. I don't know if they're going to activate him for this game, but they set him for return, which community comes back this week or next week or week after that. But if CD doesn't play, Cooks is still dangerous. Tolbert, he's got speed. You saw that. You saw that last week. The one touchdown Dallas got, it was a long one from Tolbert. Running game is very suspect, but that doesn't mean they can't run, right? Michael Parsons still can rush the quarterback, but it's the others that need to do something. Cowboys all day, man, are going to lose this game. And I really hope that the stadium is burgundy and gold because the Cowboys have a strong following in Washington. Strong following. But it needs to be burgundy and gold. Let's get Jaden his rookie of the year, possibly MVP as well. And let's take a charge to win the division because the loss to Philly was a close loss. Washington they play them again. They can beat them by more points than what they lost by. And really, they can win out. Starting with this game with Dallas. The only game I'm worried about is Atlanta because there's so many weapons. But outside of that, Washington can win out. Philly has a couple games. Maybe, maybe not. But we'll see. Washington in this game. Dallas, you suck. Your fans suck. And they're obnoxious. And I'm glad this is happening to you guys. But don't get it twisted. If Shedeur Sanders is drafted, it won't be by the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to tell you that right now. It cannot be by the Dallas Cowboys because they paid Dak Prescott too much money. So get that out of your head, folks. They're not drafting Shedeur. The Raiders might. Deion might become a Raider. But I don't think Deion Sanders will be the Raiders coach if the Raiders draft him because he trusts Tom Brady, who is now part owner of the Raiders, to take care of Shedeur. Because who does Shedeur give all credit to for his QB prowess? Tom Brady. I see That being the case, the Raiders finding a way to get Shedeur. Y'all can keep Cam Ward. Cam Ward is not, I repeat, not on the level of Shedeur Sanders. All them numbers, all them inflated numbers, nope. He's not even winning the ACC. SMU. And that's the crazy thing. Miami's ranked number 4, but they're second in their own division behind SMU. Cam Ward, I liken Cam Ward to Jamarcus Russell. I do. I don't think he studies. I don't think he diagnoses plays from the quarterback position quick enough. He doesn't throw people open, and he's waiting for the player to uncover. In the NFL, that doesn't happen. And he's a great college quarterback. He's been in college, 6-7 years, 3 different schools, good numbers at each school, but there's a reason why he didn't stay at those schools. Shedeur, 2 schools. Daddy took me to Jackson State. He's at Colorado. But everywhere he's been, it's been the acumen. It's been the acumen. That's all I'm saying. I prefer a neck up quarterback than a shoulders down. Cam got a cannon, but I don't think he's fully developed or developing as a quarterback. I just don't like his gameplay. But I sidebarred that because that leads me to the Broncos and Raiders game. Look, all this nonsense is pure nonsense. Bo Nix ain't getting the Rookie of the Year. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. They'll be 7-5 after this, after they beat up on the Raiders. But he is a game manager, and he's managing the game very well. They're not winning because of him. He's a part of the win. Okay? Y'all can hype him up all you want. I told you Cortland Sutton was a beast. People are like, nah, he a bum, let him go. Dude, I take Cortland Sutton in Washington any day to go with Terry McLaurin. I want T. Higgins. Let's keep it clear. I want T. Higgins. But I will take Cortland Sutton to go with, my guy, Scary Terry. 2 tall, big dudes, jump balls all day, good route runners. I'm doing that all day. But the Raiders, man, and I feel bad for Antonio Pierce. I do. Because, it's like all the time with the Raiders. Sad. Gardner Minshew's the quarterback. Then O'Connell. Then Gardner. Then O'Connell. Back to Gardner. Now there are 2 starting running backs, Matson and White, aren't playing. So people ran to the waiver wire to get this other kid that should get some time. But Amir Abdullah is no joke. Amir Abdullah's been there. He can play the position. He can be the lead back. He'll share with the other young guy. But Amir Abdullah isn't a slouch. The problem is they're playing Denver's defense. And Denver's defense, Patrick Surtain, best DB in football right now. Junior. Best DB in football right now. Yeah. He shuts them down. Now, my young man in Philly, he's going to get Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, because he's a beast, shutting people down. But you are not. When's the last time somebody did something big on Surtain and had a big game? I'll wait. Plus the linebackers in Denver are pretty damn good. Easy game for Denver. They win this game. But y'all can stop that noise about Bo Nix getting Rookie of the Year. He's not getting it. Once he proves he can win games, not just a game, but multiple games, him, with his gameplay, not the defense and the running backs, but just him winning games, then I'll listen. Right now, is it a bias? Probably, because I believe Jaden is the guy. He should win. Woo! This game I thought was a good win coming for San Francisco. And then we get the news yesterday that Brock Purdy ain't playing. Brandon Allen is a starting quarterback, right? So here's my question. Are you playing Debo? Are you playing Juwan Jennings? Ricky Parasol? I think CMC going to get like 25, 30 touches. Allen may be okay. But I'm telling you, keep that ball away from Green Bay safety. Keep it away from him. I think you actually see in this game a little mixture. I mean, CMC has taken every snap or every ball since he's come back, except for maybe like 2 or 3, which Mason got. And Jordan Mason's a good running back. But I expect CMC to be running hard over Green Bay. But as much as I want to pick San Fran to win this game, I'm looking at Green Bay and saying the defense is playing better, a lot better. Love is the real deal. But for some reason, he's not throwing it to Kraft as much. He's throwing it to everybody else but Kraft, which happens to be a security blanket. And I think Kraft is a very good tight end. But I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see what happens. But it's in Green Bay. Josh Jacobs has quietly been given the ball like 20 times a game, whether it's receiving and running or just rushing. But I don't think Josh Jacobs is going to be the answer to this game for Green Bay. I think Jordan Love is going to have to win it. I really think he's going to have to do it. With this being said, Bosa may not play pass rush. Look, Bosa didn't finish the game last week. So that's really concerning, right? The pass rush was there, but it wasn't as potent. So that is a concern. But I believe Green Bay had something for Bosa anyway. They were going to probably make him run down the running back. Him not playing possibly is just an added bonus. I got to change one of my picks, matter of fact, to Green Bay before I forget, because I'm going to switch my pick. I'm picking Green Bay. I just made my pick. All right. With that being said, let's go on to Arizona and Seattle. Surprisingly, a very, very sought after and important game. Now, I'm going to be at the game on the 8th when Seattle comes here, but the Cardinals, Kyler Murray, lead the NFC West. Now, let's be honest. Bosa doesn't get hurt. Does Geno get that touchdown? No. And I've said it the past 3 weeks. Why has Seattle abandoned Walker? It's the offensive game calling. Walker is not a shotgun, pistol type of running back. He's not. His first move is forward. He's a downhill runner, but that's not the offense. Geno's having a great year numbers wise, but you're 5-5. Let me see what are they? 5-4, 5-5. The whole division is 5-5 except for the Cardinals. And I'm telling you, I've seen these guys up front and in person. The Cardinals are legit. Kyler needs to get the ball out of his hands quicker and get it to Harrison a lot more. But what I'm going to tell you is I actually like Seattle in this game. Not because of Geno and the offense, but because of the defense of Seattle. Ernest Jones is a monster. Understand that. Seattle's going, well, you know what? Let me change that because Seattle has gone through an issue with the sonic tornado or something that happened up in there where they lost electricity at the facility and they haven't been able to do much at the facility. And Seattle has had to, they haven't had the luxuries of electronics. They use, literally, I'm not even joking when I say this, they were using the light from the windows to illuminate the area because they don't have generators. They don't have backup generators. So the players were not using their iPads, whatever, to study film. They were using the printed stuff. So they couldn't see the motion. They had to look at the paper. And when I tell you, this messes with the preparation of certain people, like the hot tub, the cold tub, the film study. Like they were saying, you could only watch maybe 1 or 2 plays an hour because the internet was so terrible. This is a terrible week of preparation. Fortunately, they play Arizona twice a year, and the players that have been there, they can give a feel for what's going to happen. Excuse me. But the linchpin to this game, and I'm going to go with Arizona. I just switched my mind. Arizona has Connor. If they feed Connor 20 times a game, they win. 20 times a game, they win. Because Connor sets up so much downfield. You just don't get it. And the best tight end in football is in Arizona, McBride. McBride, his numbers prove it. You can't debate it. It's not up for debate. His numbers show that he's the best tight end in football. And he missed a game or two. Arizona. Philly and the Rams. Man. Okay. I'm going back and forth in this game. The reason why I'm going back and forth in this game is because Puka, Cooper, Kerrigan, and Stafford. No Devontae Smith is another big reason. I got to go back to. I'm up here changing my picks. I got to go with the Rams, man. Listen to what I'm saying here. I love Saquon. I told folks Saquon probably be the best running back this year in the summer. I said that. And if you got him and you didn't get him in the first round, you got him late, that's a steal. Even if you got him past the first 5 picks, That's but who's going to be opposite of A.J. Brown? This means A.J. Brown's going to get a lot more targets when they throw the ball, but it's going to be Jahad Dotson who faded away into obscurity? No, I don't think so. It's going to be the other young guy. Good receiver, just not a lot with him. Will they feed Dallas Goedert? I don't know if Dallas is playing or not, but if he's playing, that's who else is going to get the ball. You might even see Jalen have to run. Now, this is crazy because early on in the year, the Rams had the worst rush defense. I mean, they were Swiss cheese, and I saw it up live in person. Terrible. But now that Puka and Cooper and everybody's back, that defense is fresher, and they're stopping the run. So I don't think they're going to stop Saquon from getting a touchdown. I don't think so. But they might bottle him up, just like Washington did. Bottled him up until the last quarter. But the Rams have more firepower than Washington. Washington has a slightly better defense. I say that to say the Rams can outscore Philly. It's in LA. Make sure I got that right. Make sure it's in LA. It's in LA. I got to go with the Rams. I'm going with the Rams. All right. Last game of the week. And it's 7-4 Baltimore, 7-3 Chargers. Last week, and I told you guys last week who was going to win the division, who was going to win the game. Pittsburgh is for real. I don't care if they did not score a touchdown. That goes to show you how good they are. They had a kicker kick, 6 field goals and win the game. Now, yeah, they lost to Cleveland in the snow, last quarter type stuff, whatever, Thursday. But Baltimore has a lot of kinks in their armor. A lot. The Chargers are a very well-rounded team. And I can't believe during the summer, I forgot that Harbaugh was their coach. I did. I looked at the team and I said, oh, they are garbage. But it's something to be said about Jim Harbaugh and his coaching. He turns, a sour bunch of players into a rose bush. Herbert has not had to throw a lot this year. That's good on his career and good for him. Will he get the accolades that he normally got, before? No. But will he make the playoffs? Yeah. Yeah. Quentin Johnson, Ladd McConkey. I forgot the other receiver. But they're still doing it. J.K. Dobbins, 2 torn ACLs, both knees, still doing the thing. Leading rusher. Baltimore. I don't know what's with your receiving core. Why Deontay Johnson only gets 3 targets a game? Because he doesn't know the playbook? I don't know. Maybe. But you trade for him. You're feeding Derrick Henry, which was great. Mark Andrews gets 2 catches, 3 catches that game? I don't understand what's going on. I don't understand it to the point that I'm picking the Chargers. Yes, the Chargers to win this game and go to 7-4 and knock the Ravens down to 7-4 as well. Now, they'll both be playoff teams. Then they'll both be wild card teams, though. I got Pittsburgh winning in the North Kansas City winning the West. I got Baltimore coming in second in the North. And I've got the Chargers coming in second. Right now, 3 of the 4 teams out of the AFC West are in the playoffs. Nuts. I don't think the Broncos are going to make the playoffs. I don't. I think you're going to see a charge for Miami as long as Tua's healthy, but if he gets knocked out, like I think he might. The Colts are still in it. I don't think they're going to make it. Believe it or not, the Jets are still in it. Not going to make it. But I think the Chargers are going to surprise a lot of people. A lot of people, including Monday night. So with that being said, woo, I'm on an hour. That was good work. And I blabbered a little bit too. That concludes the picks for this week. As always, I am happy that you came. Thank you. I appreciate the support. Happy Thanksgiving to those that will be celebrating it this Thursday. Some people don't want to celebrate it. They want to call it something else. They want to do Thanksgiving. That's fine. But I will tell you this. My schedule might be changing a little bit come December because of a position I have obtained. So I don't know if I'm going to have a show every Saturday. Prayerfully, I will, because they know this is something I really love doing. And it's supposed to be Monday through Friday, but we'll see. But I'm always going to give you what I feel is right. I'm going to tell you what I know, what I heard, what I saw. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. There's nothing like it. Doing this, 15, 16 years now? However long it's been since Obama was in office. That's how long I've been doing this. I'm going to pray for a lot of folks as we enter the second portion of Donald Trump's reign. I didn't do my political show this week that I said I was going to do. I completely forgot about it because I made a promise to only make one political post a day because, buddy, I got lots to say. But with my new position, I don't know if I'll be able to broach some topics, but we'll see. We'll see. But again, thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate it. As always, it's me, it's Mr. FSP, doing what I do because I do it for you all day, every day, and mostly because I can. I'm out.
Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Get ready to rumble! You wanna talk smack? You in the right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your
Remember,
face.
because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
You're the dudes holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Jerry's gonna get him.
Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Listeners are asking questions about this week's games, not Jerry's personal beef. So what's your thought?